Tonight on CTV News.
You're going to see a very significant escalation Monday and every day next week.
The escalating strike by public sector employees as thousands of healthcare workers prepare to join the picket lines. Also,
doesn't sound like a very nice place to visit right now.
Still avoiding the U.S. Just how much travel by BC residents across the border has plummeted, and
my dad will be very excited to hear this all worked out.
Beating the odds, how a very lucky soccer fan scored tickets to the FIFA World Cup and what it cost him.
This is CTV News with Michelle Brunoro.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Mi Jung is off tonight. We start with breaking news as thousands of more unionized workers in BC are set to walk off the job. Late today, some healthcare workers announced they will be joining the ongoing BC General Employees Union strike. CTV's Lauren Polna is following this in the Breaking News Centre. And Lauren, who is set to walk off the job?
Michelle, nearly 23,000 community-based healthcare workers are set to join the picket line. As they say, talks with the Health Employers Association of BC have now reached an impasse. They are members of the Community Bargaining Association, or the CBA, and include workers in drug and alcohol treatment centers, detox and emergency shelters, women's clinics, senior services, mental health group homes, adult daycare, home support, and more. The CBA says bargaining has been ongoing since March, but members say there hasn't been meaningful engagement on key non-monetary issues that matter most to frontline workers. CBA workers are represented across several unions, Michelle, including the BCGEU. And we've also learned tonight the BCGEU strike is now impacting coroner's inquests. One that was scheduled for Monday has been tentatively postponed until October 14th, but it is at risk of being further delayed as well, depending, of course, on what unfolds with strike action over the coming days. Michelle?
Right, a lot to take in there. Thanks for that, Lauren. Meanwhile, the BCGEU has escalated its strike again with nearly 900 more public service workers walking off the job today. That brings the total number to more than 17,000 across BC. And as CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports, the impacts are becoming more glaring.
Grabbing your weekend supply of booze or cannabis might be a little trickier this week, as the BCGEU has taken things a step further.
Almost or more than half of the liquor and cannabis stores in the province are out on strike.
Joining them on the picket lines will be frontline staff from ministries such as Environment and Parks, Children and Family Development, and Water, Land and Resource Stewardship. Union leaders say these jobs are critical to communities and the economy, and warn job action will keep growing until the province returns to the table with what they call a serious wage offer.
You're going to see a very significant escalation Monday and every day next week until the government is willing to come with a fair offer.
Talks broke down earlier this week. The union is demanding a 4% general wage increase per year for 2 years. The province has countered with 2% annually, plus targeted adjustments, which government describes as a 5% package overall. As things drag out, the effects are being felt by many.
In the cannabis industry, we're definitely seeing impacts.
Alana Davis is the co-founder of the BC Cannabis Alliance, made up of small, independent, licensed producers. She points out that unlike alcohol, cannabis has a short shelf life. And with the provincial distribution systems down, companies are being dinged a 15% fee for direct delivery.
We're going to see more empty shelves because people are running out of stock, both on the producer end and on the retailer end. So we will probably see things like layoffs and closures begin to happen.
With the strike now entering its 6th week, pressure is mounting on both sides to reach a deal. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Vancouver.
Canada Post today tabled new offers to its striking workers after Ottawa said it's planning reforms at the financially strapped service. The federal government says Canada Post will undergo job cuts and slash a number of services, including daily mail delivery and closing offices in some rural areas, while moving almost all addresses to community mailboxes. The Postal Service has said it supports the planned changes, and it's aiming to reduce staffing levels through attrition and voluntary departures before considering layoffs. The 55,000-member Canadian Union of Postal Workers responded to the news by declaring a renewed strike last week. Today's offer included a more than 13% wage increase over 4 years, similar to terms offered in May, but Canada Post removed a signing bonus, citing a worsening financial picture. Well, for the 8th month in a row, there's been a decrease in BC drivers traveling across the border. CTV's Dimitra Maragos takes a look to see if the data really tracks how BC residents feel.
BC residents?
Right now, we're going to boycott it.
I am not interested in traveling to the States. Doesn't sound like a very nice place to visit right now.
Aren't interested in visiting our neighbors to the south. Gary DeRosier works in the lumber industry. He says the tariffs played a big role in his decision.
Once he did that, I said, well, that's it. I won't be back until you're not the president.
While Kennedy Brown says for her, it's the rhetoric.
There's a lot going on down there that I just feel safer almost staying in Canada.
And the numbers from Cascade Border Data Warehouse back this up. From February to September, the number of drivers crossing the Peace Arch, Pacific Highway, Linden, and Sumas ports of entry have dropped. Just last month, the number of vehicles with BC plates heading south plunged 40%.
It is pretty unprecedented.
Jennifer Bettis from the Border Policy Research Institute says these numbers are alarming.
I was not expecting it to be so dramatic or so prolonged.
And it could impact Washington State's bottom line.
Businesses in particular are going to have to look at their business models and adapt or try to find a different way to make money.
We recently spoke to business owners in Blaine who say they haven't seen a lack of Canadian travelers. In fact, some say they've seen an uptick.
Part of this could be that in early September, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Canada will be removing counter tariffs that were put in place in March. But Bettis says the question remains whether these trends will last.
And only time will tell if this is going to be a permanent change, if this is going to, just be a blip and then we'll be back to normal at some point.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
And still ahead, soccer sticker shock. A local man wins the pre-sale lottery for a chance to get first access to tickets for next year's World Cup here in Vancouver. Wait till you see how much the matches are going for. That's just ahead. But first, you are looking at Robson Street on this Friday evening. Looks dry out there. Still looks like a nice day and a nice way to start our weekend.
Yes, that is right. Mostly cloudy skies out there. It was pleasant all day long. We had big breaks of blue skies, but yes, for the most part, it was cloudy. But things will clear up as we head into the weekend, which is great news. Here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland right now. We're sitting at 13 degrees at the harbor, 14s in Burnaby, as well as in North Vancouver and Pitt Meadows. A touch warmer in the valley, 15 degrees for Abbotsford and Chilliwack. You'll get 16 in Surrey right now. So as we head through the overnight, we'll drop down to 11 under overcast skies. Into tomorrow morning, we'll start off cloudy, but it does clear up quite nicely. A mix of sun and cloud through the afternoon with a high of 16.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
And the sunshine continues after the weekend as well into next week. I've got the full forecast coming up.
That sounds pretty good. All right. Thanks for that, Ann. Well, millions of people who entered a draw for first access to FIFA World Cup tickets were holding their breath this week, hoping to get an email that they had won the pre-sale lottery. It appears that very few did, but a Vancouver small business owner was one of the lucky ones. And today we were there when his assigned time slot to buy tickets opened up. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
13 minutes.
Ryan Slater is counting down to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Right now we're just sitting in the queue, and essentially at 8 a.m. I get access to the ability to buy tickets.
Tickets for the 7 World Cup matches at BC Place. Slater is one of a very select few who got this email saying he won the Visa pre-sale lottery.
Rumors were that it would start coming out at 1 a.m., so I think I probably got up at like 5 a.m. just to check, and then I actually got it. And then I messaged all my friends, and no one else got it.
When the countdown hit 0, he was placed in the actual queue to buy.
I'm hoping to get at least tickets for the 2 Canada games, and then potentially a round of 32, because I think Canada advancing to the round of of 32 is probably possible this year.
Are you at all nervous the tickets will be gone?
Yes, very. This is also day 3, essentially, of the pool. So yes, I do feel like I know what it's like to be a Taylor Swift fan now.
As he waited for his turn, the small business owner and soccer fanatic dared to dream. He's after tickets to go with friends and family, not to sell. What would it mean to be able to go?
Yeah, I think for me it'd be really special. I've gone to pretty much, like I said, every Whitecaps game with my dad for the last decade. So I think going to like a Canada match here in Vancouver would be the pinnacle, and the fact that there's some Whitecaps players on the team, I think it would make like the ultimate experience.
Slater couldn't hide his nerves as the seconds counted down.
I'm also not going to panic. Keep it cool and calm and collective. Okay, here's the moment of truth.
Over the next 10 minutes, Slater was able to buy the maximum 4 tickets for both of Canada's round-robin matches at BC Place. The price ranged $230 to $665 each, and the non-Canada games weren't much cheaper.
Okay, round of 32.
He also bought 4 tickets for the round of 32 and 4 for the round of 16, which were priced as high as $825. You got everything?
I got what I wanted. My dad will be very excited to hear this all worked out.
And your friends too?
My friends too, yeah.
Your friends better be really nice to you.
It's true. I'm going to see who my real friends are by the end of the year.
Slater knows how lucky he is to have won the pre-sale lottery. His message to local World Cup fans who didn't?
This was just the Visa pre-sale draw, which was the first stage, and there are at least 2, if not 3 more stages to still get tickets.
So we still have hope.
Still have hope, everyone. Still have hope.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver. Well, very exciting for him. And an update now on a story we brought you last week. A 58-year-old North Vancouver woman has been found safe 2 weeks after she went missing. RCMP appealed to the public for help in the search for Virginia Dyack a week ago. Her family tells CTV News that she was found last night, and they're happy and relieved that she is safe. The Coastal Fire Center has issued its final report of the 2025 season, noting more than 200 fires. 2 of the most prominent fires on Vancouver Island are still burning, although under control, and it's causing careful review moving into the future. CTV's Yvonne Raymond reports.
2 wildfires are being held under control in the Alberni Valley, and the peak period of evacuation orders, alerts, and community concern in August are over.
The anxiety that existed in our community when these fires were burning out of control is something that I've really never seen before.
The Mount Underwood and Wesley Ridge fires are spurring debriefs and renewed planning as the Coastal Fire Center winds down its status reports for the season.
Those statistics aren't indicating anything abnormal. We're below the 10-year average if we want to look at those figures.
Vancouver Island and parts of the Lower Mainland saw 224 wildfires between April and October. More than 15,000 hectares burned, and 130 of the wildfires are considered human-caused.
The regional district will likely be updating emergency plans and just relooking with kind of, the fresh lens of the type of fire that was in our area.
Dashwood's fire department says homeowners heeding tips to fire smart their properties helped save them. The chief is encouraging reviews around building practices for improvements into the future.
Any new properties that are coming into our communities, we need to make sure that they are fire smart. They have dependable space around them. They have building materials that are fire resistant and fire proof, so to speak.
Eyes are also on a portion of Bamfield Road. It's been closed for months and doubles as an emergency route for Port Alberni and the West Coast.
The province has a study underway, and we're going to continue to pursue improvements to an emergency route.
The Ministry of Transportation says it's on track to reopening the road by the end of month, a closing of a chapter to a pair of fires where crews have held the upper hand, protecting homes and lives. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News.
From e-bikes to cell phones, laptops to power tools, lithium-ion batteries power many of our everyday devices. But the BC Professional Firefighters Burn Fund is warning they are also a major fire hazard. Charge into Fire Safety is the organization's theme this year as they get ready to kick off Fire Prevention Week. They want to highlight best practices, including always using manufacturer-approved charges and replacing damaged or swollen batteries immediately.
When these lithium-ion batteries malfunction, they can rupture and explode and create a significant fire hazard, much more than the traditional batteries that we're more used to in our homes.
People are also reminded to not leave batteries in hot cars or expose them to excessive heat. And when you are done with them, make sure they are recycled at designated collection points. And coming up, why dozens of beluga whales from a closed amusement park are at risk of being euthanized and how the park wants Ottawa to help. Plus,
if we don't raise $100,000 within a few weeks here, we unfortunately run the risk of having to close our doors.
local nonprofits facing a financial crisis, even as demand for their services keeps growing. When CTV News continues, stay with us.
Imagine walking into your local park and being able to grab a basketball, a soccer ball, or even fitness gear. Completely free, no barriers, no hassle. Just play.
A motion will be presented to the Vancouver Park Board on Monday, aimed at improving access to sports equipment in the city. Commissioner Jazz Verdi is proposing free self-service lending stations in parks to help reduce barriers for people to get active. He says Canadian Tire, Jumpstart Charities, and Equip Sport have expressed interest in partnering on the initiative. They could be up and running in 6 weeks. A similar program launched in Surrey in August. Those working in the nonprofit industry in BC say they're facing a crisis. Many are grappling with a decline in donations, forcing them to make tough decisions, all while their demand for services only continues to grow. As CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, it's a symptom of a larger economic problem.
Rain or shine, you can find Peter Thompson selling copies of Megaphone magazine, where he's been a vendor for 2 decades.
Paper, magazine.
The money he earns has helped him financially after an injury left him unable to work.
With that extra money, I could buy like groceries and help with the rent. So that really went a long way.
Providing that support isn't certain as Megaphone grapples with financial challenges.
It's looking like a lot of nonprofits will have to cut key programs at the same time that poverty and homelessness are growing across the country.
The charity has cut back on staff hours, all while shouldering the same workload.
To prepare for the storm that seemed to be gathering, we were aware that some of our donors might pull back at the end of the year.
It's not the only organization having to make tough decisions. This fridge at the Potluck Cafe Society on the downtown east side is usually full. Due to dwindling donations, the catering company needs to raise $100,000 in the next few weeks. If not, it risks closing.
It'd be tragic. It'd be, people that are coming here, working, people that have been with us for 20 years, some over 15, having to go look for another position.
Last month, around 200 nonprofit leaders signed an open letter asking for help to stabilize the sector.
If we're not seen as essential and if cuts are made in our sector, the impacts will be felt by communities for the next many, many years.
These cuts, paired with an affordability crisis, have caused a trickle-down effect.
When there's unemployment, when wages are stagnating, when things are very uncertain, and there is still an affordability crisis for everyone, donations are less than they used to be. In fact, people who used to donate are now coming up as clients.
For Thompson, he worries who will be left if those propping up the most marginalized can't survive.
Without that kind of help, where are they going to go after that? And what are they going to do?
Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A new report suggests housing is actually becoming more affordable in BC and across the country. That's according to the Parliamentary Budget Officer. The report says the affordability gap, which is the gap between home prices and what the typical household can afford, is at 21% in Vancouver, better than Victoria, Toronto, and even Calgary. Adil Danani is with Royal LePage West. He says those numbers track what he's been seeing in this province.
We've seen prices from pandemic peaks to where they are today come down in certain markets up to 20%. So that's definitely going to add more affordability into the market. And as we saw last month, the Bank of Canada is on this path of cutting interest rates, and we're expecting another rate cut this October. So every little bit has that compounding effect to buyer affordability.
However, he warns that mortgage debt service ratios, the share of households' income that goes towards paying off a home loan, have improved but is still very high in the region. Well, today is the deadline for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency to respond to the Supreme Court in the case of 400 ostriches set to be culled in BC. Authorities have been trying to take that step following an avian flu outbreak. The farm's owners have pushed back, and the country's top court is now deciding whether it should weigh in. Lower courts have said the cull should be able to proceed. Meanwhile, in Ontario, just days after Ottawa rejected Marineland's plan to ship 30 beluga whales to China, the closed amusement park now says it will have no choice but to euthanize those whales if the federal government doesn't provide emergency funding. Marineland says the money is needed to help feed and care for the whales. The park says the aquarium in China was the only viable option for the belugas, and no other park has enough room. Marineland says it is quickly running out of money and has asked the fisheries minister for help in finding another place to send the whales. The park says relocation is the only option, and if it doesn't happen, they will be forced to euthanize the belugas. Well, still ahead, a major breakthrough in the push for peace in Gaza. We'll have the details plus.
Mark Carney knows that sometimes the principal has to get into the room to close the deal.
Canada's Prime Minister is heading back to Washington. What's on the agenda for his meetings with the U.S. President? Some major developing news today out of the Middle East, where Hamas is reportedly agreeing to release all Israeli hostages, dead or alive. Earlier today, U.S. President Donald Trump gave Hamas a deadline of Sunday evening to end the war in Gaza and sign on to his peace deal, calling it a, quote, last chance. According to Reuters, Hamas has agreed to release the remaining hostages with conditions, saying it would accept some elements of the Gaza peace plan, which Trump announced alongside the Israeli Prime Minister earlier this week. But the Palestinian militant group didn't directly address terms requiring it to disarm, leaving the next steps up in the air as Israeli forces move into Gaza City. The Prime Minister is gearing up for another trip to Washington. Mark Carney is preparing to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump next week, with CTV News learning some movement is expected on steel and aluminum tariffs. CTV's Abigail Biman reports.
Why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state.
It will be Mark Carney's second White House visit since becoming Prime Minister in a deja vu era of 51st state remarks.
As long as this continued reference to the 51st state remains foremost in the president's mind, this is not an atmosphere that is going to make these type of negotiations easy, and it's something that absolutely enrages Canadians.
The Prime Minister has been tight-lipped lately about any progress with the president, his office not always saying when they've spoken.
Have you talked to Donald Trump recently? Yes. What did he say?
But next week's visit will aim to keep trying to get a deal on punishing American tariffs, as both countries also launch consultations for the upcoming review of CUSMA. One source tells CTV News Canada is expecting progress on steel and aluminum tariffs, but not autos. In a rare public update, the top minister on the Canada-U.S. file told a Senate committee this week he's hopeful there can be a separate deal ahead of CUSMA.
I'm hoping we can get progress before the review process formally engages, but time will tell us if my optimism is misplaced.
The embassy is abuzz, Canadian embassy is abuzz with visits and people reaching out and meetings. But maybe I think Mark Carney knows that sometimes the principal has to get into the room to close the deal. And I'm hoping that Mark Carney's trip to Washington to meet with President Trump will be about a deal and not just more conversation.
In addition to LeBlanc, the foreign affairs and industry ministers will be joining the Prime Minister on his trip to D.C. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison. Combs is facing 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Earlier, he was emotional while addressing the court to plead his case. He said his actions were sick and that he was on drugs and out of control. The rapper also begged for mercy and apologized to his victims. He was looking at 20 years total, but prosecutors argued he deserved at least 11 years. His lawyers were asking for 14 months, which has already been essentially time served. Coming up, it's a big weekend for the BC Lions. We've got the details plus.
Can't walk anywhere from here to British Columbia right now without seeing Jays gear everywhere.
Excitement building right across the country as the Toronto Blue Jays kick off the American League Division Series.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Vancouver, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Every year, the Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society responds to hundreds of animal emergencies, often in remote areas. And now they are asking for the public's help to help them win a new rescue vehicle. Voting opens today for our annual Land Rover Defender Service Awards. The Rescue Society is in the running to win a Land Rover Defender 130 and more than $40,000 cash. They say the vehicle would give them the capability to bring life-saving equipment into areas with rough terrain when animals' lives are at risk. You can vote on the Land Rover website every day until October 19th.
Travel from city.
Well, it's a big weekend for baseball fans in Toronto. The Jays are welcoming the Yankees to town to kick off the American League Division Series. As CTV's Sean Lafong reports, it's the first time Toronto and New York have met in the postseason.
Making their mark on the field, the Rogers Centre is getting ready for October baseball, and the Blue Jays are preparing to face a familiar opponent.
And the Yankees have completed step one on their...
The New York Yankees beating the Boston Red Sox in their Wild Card Series, now coming to Toronto for the first 2 games of the American League Divisional Series. As today is workout day, and the Jays transition to postseason baseball.
It's nice to win the division, it really is, and it's nice to set yourself up the way you want to. But once you get in it, man, success is about winning.
And winning is something the Jays have done a lot of this season, winning 8 of 13 games against the Yankees this year, 94 games in the regular season, and a whopping 54 wins at home. Former Blue Jay Kevin Pillar says that everything, including nerves, can be magnified in the playoffs, but it's important for players to remember.
You really just kind of feed off the energy of the crowd. I always try to remind myself I worked a lifetime to get to this moment, to kind of just embrace it.
Now they hand the ball to ace Kevin Gossman for Game 1, who says the last few seasons have taught him what it means to play for Canada's team.
You know, there's extra pressure that comes with that, but there's a lot of love that comes with that from the fans, from, you know, people who might never even see you play in person. But, you know, that's just kind of the advantage that we have being one team for a whole country.
And it seems as though the whole country is focusing on the Blue Jays.
You can't walk anywhere from here to British Columbia right now without seeing Jays gear everywhere. So our players are more aware that there's a city and a country behind them.
And fans are coming from across Canada to Toronto for the series, like Rick Burton from Calgary.
It's Toronto on the name, but it's got the Canadian maple leaf on it, so it's Canada's team.
Or Adam and Jaden Lawson from Saskatchewan.
They mean everything to every province in Canada, so they're our team, they're our boys, they're going to do it.
I don't know, we're just better than the Yankees, always have been, right?
Meanwhile, Cal Raleigh and the Mariners begin their best of 5 LADS series against the Detroit Tigers tomorrow night in Seattle. The Mariners superstar will try to add to a spectacular season that saw him set new single-season record for homers by a catcher, a switch hitter, and a Mariner. Game time tomorrow is 5:30. George Kirby will be on the mound for Seattle. And it's a big weekend for the BC Lions. The team is taking on the Calgary Stampeders tomorrow with just 3 games remaining on the schedule. BC Lions legend Wally Vono stopped by your morning Vancouver and says a win would help solidify BC's playoff position.
You want to have a home playoff spot, whether it's first or second. You want to have a home playoff spot, and you know, the game tomorrow night, both teams are at 8 wins, and obviously if you win tomorrow night, you not only get the 9th win, you probably get the tiebreaker, you know, which is something that the Lions would like.
The Lions will also retire the jersey of Solomon Elimimian and add him to their wall of fame at halftime. The former linebacker was elected to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 2023. Coming up, Vancouver's food scene gets some sparkle. We'll tell you which 2 Vancouver restaurants have just been awarded a Michelin star. Also, we hear from more Canadians who say they've been unbanked, plus grocery products labeled as Canadian that weren't. More on this just ahead. Taking Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 71 cents to the American dollar. Oil was up 40 cents, closing the day at $60.88 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained nearly $41 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both closed higher, up 311 points and 238 points, respectively. Many Canadians are steering away from dining out these days due to an increased cost of living. So fast casual Mexican chain Chipotle is developing strategies to generate more foot traffic. The company's CEO says despite a recent report from Restaurant Canada revealing 3 in 4 Canadians are eating out less, Chipotle will hold prices and even expand the company, which currently has 66 restaurants in Canada, including 17 here in the Lower Mainland. It's exploring gluten-free options and continues to innovate with limited time offers like carne asada and red chimichurri. Well, if you're looking for somewhere to eat out this weekend, we may just have the places. Yes, 2 Vancouver restaurants have been awarded the highly coveted Michelin stars. Sumibiyaki Arashi, located in the Mount Pleasant area, received a star. The chef was applauded for ushering in a new gold standard of chicken skewers. Meantime, Sushi Hyun near Robson and Jervis also nabbed a star. It was praised for having a Japanese luxury that pervades every element of the meal. Meantime, Vietnamese restaurant Good Thief was awarded the Bib Gourmand designation for offering high-quality food at a great value. 12 Vancouver restaurants now have a Michelin star. Wow. Congratulations to them. Also making me hungry, Anne.
Yes, and yeah, you have to make reservations, definitely, because definitely not getting in anytime soon because they have the star now. But congratulations all around. Let's take a look now at our forecast as we head into the weekend. Starting off with today, we saw a high of 15.7 degrees above the seasonal average of 13.5. It was warm overnight as well. And the third day in October, so far we've seen 11.2 millimeters of rain, the monthly average of 123.7. So we still have a ways to go for this month. It'll be dry as we head into the weekend, all thanks to this ridge of high pressure building offshore. It'll clear the clouds out of the way, as you can see on our weather tracker through this evening and the overnight hours is slowly clearing out of the way along the coast. Is still some light rain, possible higher elevation snow for the northeast corner of the province, but also clearing out of the way as we head into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. For the southern interior, you're looking at a mix of sun and cloud pretty much across the board with a few sprinkles for Vernon and Kelowna, as well as Revelstoke. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Early morning showers for Port Hardy tomorrow. It does clear up, a mix of sun and cloud through the afternoon. 14 degrees. You'll warm up to 16s under a mix of sun and cloud for Campbell River and Comox. Pleasant day for the South Island. A few clouds from Tofino right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 14 and 18 degrees. For the Sunshine Coast, a lot of sunshine and 15 degrees. Up the Sea to Sky Highway, you're looking at 16 for Squamish, 15 for Whistler under a mix of sun and cloud. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we will start off cloudy. It does clear up through the afternoon under a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures will warm up to 16, between there and 17 degrees. A few clouds expected on Sunday as well at 17. And then blue skies and sunshine for Monday and Tuesday, warming up to 18 degrees. Heading into Wednesday and Thursday, partly cloudy skies, temperatures between 16 and 17, and then it does cloud over on Friday. We'll see some sunny breaks and 16 degrees. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So a great weekend ahead and a great start to next week also.
Absolutely. I feel like we're getting kind of spoiled with the weather next week.
Definitely are.
All right. Thanks for that, Anne. Well, we had a lot of reaction to our stories on a family dealing with a large estate tax bill and more people who say they've also been unbanked. We also have more evidence some grocers are maple washing products. Here's CTV's Pat Foran with Feedback Friday.
Many people were unaware you can be unbanked. A bank can decide at any time they don't want you as a customer and tell you to take your business somewhere else. Following our story, we heard from more than 20 others who say they were also unbanked. Thomas Nassab was with RBC for about 30 years, but he says he was unhappy with their services, so he filed several complaints.
Within 7 days of those complaints, I was told that all of my accounts are being closed.
Canadian banks can end a relationship with a customer at any time for any reason. Paul told us, I was debanked for absolutely no reason. I had 7 accounts closed and 30 days to move to another bank. To this day, I still have no idea why. Last year, Ashley Galley was heartbroken when her mother Jackie died in January, and in December her father Michael passed away. The two deaths in the same year triggered an estate tax bill of almost $660,000.
It made me more angry than anything. We've just lost both of our parents inside of 11 months.
Sid wrote, "It's a reminder of how crucial estate and tax planning can be, whether it's early RRSP withdrawals, gifting assets, or using TFSAs and life insurance. I'm sure it sparked important conversations in families." When grocery shopping, you'll see maple leaves, made in Canada labels or signage urging you to buy Canadian. But a CTV viewer noticed green beans marked as a product of Canada that were from Guatemala, and red onions also sold as a Canadian product that were from Egypt.
A lot of products were labeled in a way that it was actually quite misleading.
Cash sent us this photo of onions for sale that appears to be mislabeled. He said, "We went to a grocery store and they covered product of USA on 10-pound bags of onions with stickers that said product of Canada." And shoppers are encouraged to check labels carefully. Mislabeling products as Canadian when they're not is false advertising, and stores can face fines of up to $15,000 per offense. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
Oktoberfest, pumpkins after dark, and the Michelin paddle. Your Friday feel-goods are just ahead, plus inspiring friendship. Adam finds out how a childhood connection with a dolphin led a Cowichan Bay man to pursue his passion. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. And right now, here's a preview of your morning Vancouver.
70% of Canadian youth say they've been bullied in the last year. Monday on Your Morning Vancouver, how to talk to your kids about the behavior as we mark National Bullying Prevention Month. Also, we'll get updated polling numbers on how British Columbians feel about our provincial leaders and what issues are dominating the conversation. That's Monday morning. We'll see you then.
It's a big day for Taylor Swift fans. Her brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is finally out.
We're also on open roads, so there will be traffic.
After 14 years, the renowned recycling event will no longer be hitting the pavement in Penticton. Organizers of the Grand Fonio say the cancellation is due to increasing costs and a shift in the type of races people in the cycling industry are looking for. The announcement also comes after a tragic crash at this year's event where a cyclist was killed and 2 others were injured after being hit by a vehicle. The event's executive director says the incident took a serious toll on staff and volunteers. Well, it's a big day for Taylor Swift fans. Her brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is finally out. Her release party also hit the theaters today, showing a behind-the-scenes look at making the album and the world premiere of The Fate of Ophelia. Music video. The album has a special connection to Vancouver. Some audio used in the title track was recorded during her final concert here. We caught up with some excited Swifties who say it's a full circle moment.
It's even more special now, like to know we were there for that final night and now it's on the album so we can listen to it anytime, and yeah, it's super exciting.
I'm from Mexico, so all the time I have been in Canada, she has been my best friend, definitely.
Stayed up late listening to it a couple of times, and this morning a couple of times again, and just, yeah, absolutely love it.
Fans say they're loving Swift's new era and hope the movie will drop some Easter eggs pointing to what she might do next.
Yeah.
Well, I know people are excited for anything Taylor Swift for sure. Well, it is time for Friday Feel Goods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. Here are Vancouver's Oktoberfest gets underway at the PNE Forum tonight and will include tomorrow night the 8th annual Harvest Toss, which will offer all the traditional German beer festival favorites. including more than 25 European and craft beers, bratwurst, soft pretzels, and of course, lederhosen. Traditional Oompa bands and live DJs will complete the atmosphere.
Of course they will. And Halloween will come early to Kitsilano Beach tomorrow afternoon. Dozens of witches will trade their brooms for paddleboards as part of the 5th annual Witchilano Paddle, where participants get into the spooky spirit paddling from Kitts to Granville Island and back. Admission is free, but donations are of cash or non-perishable food items for a local charity are encouraged. And I've seen them year after year. It's amazing.
It looks very interesting.
And they'll have
from
great
the
weather
pictures.
for it.
They're still brave, though. It's cold.
Yes, it is.
Cold, but dressed superbly.
And Pumpkins After Dark kicks off at Burnaby's Swangard Stadium and Central Park tonight. Spectators can walk through a display of more than 10,000 hand-carved pumpkins and enjoy several other family-friendly activities, including live pumpkin carving demonstrations. The event runs until the end of the month. It's a lot of fun, too.
Definitely looks like a lot of fun. I haven't done any pumpkin carving yet this year. All right, and if you have any events you'd like us to highlight, email your trips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca. And just before we get to the Sawatsky sign-off, Lauren Pullen has a preview of CTV News at 11:30. Lauren?
Michelle, there is a warning tonight from White Rock RCMP after a person was sexually assaulted by a stranger in a residential neighborhood. Police say it happened on a staircase, and they are now asking the public for help. We will have more on where it all unfolded and what we know about the suspect ahead at 11:30.
All right, thanks for that. Well, an unlikely childhood friendship led a Cowichan Valley man to completely change his life. Adam finds out how he was able to realize his dream after moving across the country and changing his career on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Although you hear them before you see them, before that, Gary Sutton says, you smell them.
They stink, but I do love them.
But sea lions lounging around this marina can't compare to his true love.
At the end of the day, they're on the menu for my favorite species, which are killer whales.
But before seeing orcas as an adult in BC, Gary befriended a dolphin in Florida as a boy.
I still remember just being completely, awestruck.
Gary says he was sitting beside the ocean when a dolphin swam right up to him.
You know, I didn't really know what to do, so I just sat there with it. I got up and started walking along the seawall, and it would follow me down and do barrel rolls. And
it kept happening. For the rest of the vacation, the dolphin would approach the boy, and they would go for daily walks together.
And that you're looking down, and it's looking back at you. There's, this contemplative eye. There's something deeper there.
It inspired an enduring interest in underwater animals, which later led to meeting a curious baby fur seal and one of its equally exuberant parents. It also led Gary to question his unrelated career.
And I just remember being home one night and having this really terrified moment of seeing my whole life down the road.
So the next day, Gary started looking for a way to pursue his passion and moved across the country to the West Coast.
I was just excited to come out here and chase some sort of dream.
Volunteering at an aquarium led to working as a naturalist on the ocean and eventually trying to capture orcas with his camera, including one named Blackberry.
He's kind of like the supermodel of the southern resident world.
Well, thanks to Blackberry's unique markings and charming personality, Gary was able to spot and connect with him regularly.
Actually show a bit of mutual curiosity, much like that dolphin did.
Which led Gary to get countless pictures of Blackberry in the water and one extraordinary photo of him leaping out of it.
And the fact that I was there in the right position and to capture it, to me, it's better than winning the lottery.
And now that Gary works full-time researching ocean animals, he couldn't be more grateful to that dolphin who inspired this boy to keep connecting on the water with wonder.
Life's too short to waste time and not do what you love to do.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Cowichan Bay.
That was an incredible
Amazing.
photo, eh? Wow, and really a good thing to keep in mind, right?
Yeah, how true is that advice?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just have to sit on the water with a camera because I have yet to see killer whales.
I know, me too. I feel like I'm missing out. We live here and we haven't seen them.
Exactly, so that's what we'll do this summer, just hunker down on the water. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. A stunning sunset in White Rock. Thanks, Mauricio, for sending this gorgeous photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
beauty.
All right, that looks incredible. That is beautiful. That is all for this evening. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Have a good weekend. Good night.